G'day guys, welcome to the round 7 review for Supercoach 2022, and it was the week that could have been anything for my team, and the two mega trades, the mega upgrades I made last weekend in Oliver and Steele happened to be the right move, so the team was in really good nick, but not owning guys like Gorn. You can't really project that, can you? I mean, Jackson, like if he didn't go out, you could probably argue that Gorn would have gone 130 or 40, but he just absolutely dominated, did whatever he wanted and played one of the games of his life. And also Tommy Stewart had like 40 disposals or something like that. So yeah, it wasn't so much the players that I had, but it was the players that I didn't have in my team that costed me a little bit this week. And then, well, I guess a little bit of an elephant in the room too, but I butchered the shit out of my captaincy as well, which you guys will see that in a minute. If you've been following me on Twitter, you know exactly what sort of shape the team is in at the moment. Yeah, stick to your gut. I don't know if you guys saw my tweet, but if you didn't, I'll say it right here and right now. If I could teach anything, or if I could teach anyone a thing or two about Supercoach, it would be to stick to your gut. Now, I did all the research on Jared Witts, and he was rucking against a centre-half forward and a VFL ruckman as well, and in Cameron and Begg, and I thought, yeah, this is a golden captaincy. He was on 95 last week at halftime against Oscar McInerney. What's he going to do to these two? And yeah, he went off, but I got cold feet because I seen him score a couple of 70s this year, and I just, yeah, I sort of, I guess I pitched out of that captaincy nonetheless, and it's a real guess who I actually captained. But yeah, we'll have a look at the team in a minute. I can't believe I held my rank. I saw some cracking scores this week. Apparently someone scored nearly 2,900. How do you do that? That is unreal. I mean, you must have got everything right. So it looks good on paper, but in reality, it's a pretty shitty score. And the fact that a lot of things went wrong for me this week, it's promising that we're still going up in the ranks. So yeah, if I could nail the captaincy, we would be flying right now. But yeah, it's just whatever. You can see the carnage in the leagues as well. So, but nonetheless, I think we're in a really good spot. We just got a bit unlucky. Let's have a look at the team and assess the situation coming into round 8. So in defence, Jack Crisp just did what he had to do. He's just so consistent. We'll probably score this most weeks. A little bit hard done by. I thought he was much better than 103, but I'm going to take that every day of the week. Jack Sinclair, so this isn't his fault. So he still played a really good game. Had 25 disposals, had 9 at quarter time. So he was going off, but yeah, the conditions were just horrendous. That won't happen very often. Everybody on Saturday night was butchering it left, right and centre. Up in Cairns, it was 30 degrees and wet and rainy. And yeah, he's playing for St Kilda. They play in perfect conditions at Marvel. So yeah, 85, that's okay. Won't see that very often. And that does sting though, because he's a bit of a pod for me, only 5% of team. So that one definitely hurt. George Hewitt didn't play. That's really annoying, isn't it? So a minor ankle. Don't think it's anything too serious. Should be back this week. Massive shame if you trade him. He will make you pay. So I used him as a loophole. For Oliver, I didn't need to do that. But if you look at what I did with McRae, maybe I did need to do that. Maybe a little bit too greedy. But anyway, we'll assess that in a moment. Jaden Short did pretty much whatever he wanted on the MCG. Love how he goes about it. He just racks it up like you wouldn't believe it against pretty ordinary teams. Playing midfield as well, just a few contested possessions and worked for his disposals too. So yeah, it's a bonus, and yeah, it was just unreal to see that. Dacos 75. Can you trade him? I don't know. Maybe I'm just going to hold him until the buys. I reckon I could turn him into Doherty this week if I wanted to, but I probably won't do that. To Conning, we needed a good score from Conning this week, and we got it. So, filling in a hole from McCartan and Hewitt. We are forced to field him. I wouldn't have been the only one that had to do that, and he prevailed and delivered. I'm super rapt with that. And yeah, we just needed him to step up, but yeah, we will put him back on the bench. I think he's a little bit of a liability down back, and in terms of a scoring sort of field option. We'll have a look at the midfield, and everyone played well except McRae. So Jack Steele, 122. As I said before, horrendous conditions. I'm taking that every day of the week. Super stuff. He's M1 and rightly so. And Jackson McRae, 89. Oh no. So what was he on? 35 at halftime. Had me scratching my head, man. I just thought far out. Goes back to what I said before. Stick to your gut. Wits went off against pretty much nobody, and it was always going to happen. I really wish I did it. Oh well, it is what it is. I mean, if I didn't do that and captained probably literally anybody else, there was 11 players that are very highly owned Supercoach selections that went over 130. So this was a big blow, and yeah, it costed me plus 300 spots in the rankings. But if I'd captain like a Neil or a Wits or like anyone really, I'd probably be going up another 1,000 spots. So yeah, the captaincy makes all the difference in the world really. So yeah, super unfortunate, but it is what it is. Probably going to rule him out of a captaincy from here on out. We'll see how we go. I'm tempted to just VC Took for now on. He's found some form, and he's a real competitor. Had a little bit of a rough patch, but I think he's over it and he's going to start playing some good footy. So, next one, Neil. So, he will be my captain this week. Plays West Coast. He already has a good record against them, and they are so bad. They bleed points this year. He's going to dominate. So, yeah, you could even just straight up captain him. He's flying at the moment, Lachie Neale. And I watched an interview of him against, it was Sydney yesterday, saying how disappointed he was with last week's effort and how he didn't really think he played a good game. Obviously scored 109 or something like that. Another pretty ordinary captaincy option. So, yeah, I'm backing him in. I think he's probably M1 this year in total points. He's a superstar, and I love what he does. So it's good to see him just kicking ass again. So we love Lachie Neale, unreal pick. And Oliver made his way into my side. He was going off his head until who was it? Connor Nash? Is that the guy? He came over and tagged Oliver. Watched a little bit of that game, but yeah, I just had my hands over my eyes most of the time because I was just watching Gawn pretty much do whatever he wanted. Let's be honest. So this was a pretty rough game to witness, but Oliver, nonetheless, yeah, Steele and Oliver made their way into my team, and yeah, they are flying. So yeah, really nice inclusions, and I'm happy with them. Took Miller, touched on him before, but he's going off. So yeah, Wits just slapped it to him every time. It was great to see. So yeah, really like what Took's doing. He's bounced back from a little bit of Supercoach adversity. People writing him off and picking Parker over Miller, which was a really good move if you did that. But yeah, people very iffy on Miller, but I picked him for a reason. I paid top dollar for him for a reason because I know this is what he's capable of, and a 117, that's probably the lowest we will see all year for Took. So I love him as a VC going into this week. And then, yeah, if nothing sort of works out there, we can just captain Neil, who's absolutely going off his nuts. So yeah, we love what the big five are doing. It's good to see them all in the one midfield. I'm really happy with that. And when I say big five, I should really say big six, because we've got Patrick Cripps here, and he was somebody that I really did consider chucking the VC on, or the captaincy rather. But the reason I didn't do that was obviously because Pitnet was out. How does that affect him in the clearances? But didn't affect him at all. So if you want to captain Cripper this week against Adelaide over Neil, I don't see why not. You could VC Neil for Cripps, but the problem with that is they play on Sunday, and there's no one to really loophole like Hawthorn and whatnot. It depends who you've got as a loophole, but they play afterwards, so it's pretty tough there. Someone that I'll probably have to miss this week. But yeah, from here on out, if you want to use Cripper as a captaincy option, a VC or a captain, I don't see why not. So yeah, he's playing really good footy. It was a bit of a cheap game against North Melbourne, so we have to keep that in mind as well. But just did whatever he wanted, so it's good to see that. Matty Rao, so yeah, he's going to start going up in price now. It's his break even, 39. That's really good. So ideally, we've got a pretty bad buy like Steele, Oliver, I don't know who else. Is it Neil? I'm not sure. But I was going to get Petrarca in as well. Don't mind that idea, but yeah, they all sort of share the same buy. So I'd love to hold Rao up until then, we'll wait and see on that. I think you got Miller, and I think we've got the same buy as McRae as well, so we'll assess that when we get to it. But Rao going to make a bit more coin for me, and more importantly, a better field option. So, yeah, I like what he's doing, and he bounced back. I think he's good for a probably 95 average. So, yeah, that's fine for now. We'll just hold him until whenever. Whenever his break-even's high again, then we'll get rid of him for somebody a little bit more secure in the midfield. Jason Horne-Francis, he's on the chopping block this week. It's pretty obvious what I'll be doing, but you'll see in a moment. And the bench, yeah, Ward had a spell. Hopefully he plays this week. It's just a bit tough for a rookie. So, yeah, not that he's done anything wrong, but he's really had a crack, but just needs a spell. And McDonald could be on the chopping block for Hawthorn. Don't really know, and I didn't need long as a loophole because I was using Hewitt. So that's all good. All right, we'll have a look at the rucks now. So Witt's probably R2 this year. Really like what he's doing. But at the same time, I'm just so... People can tell, but I'm so shattered that I didn't captain him because I was hyping him up on the Saturday saying, like, call me crazy, but I think we can captain Witts and all that. People were getting behind me saying, yes, Bills, I'm going to captain him as well. That's a good idea. People saying they wish they could captain him if they owned him. So, and I didn't do it. That's... Every now and again, you have a blunder in Supercoach that you never forget, and this will be one of them. So I'll not forget this. So yeah, this will carry on a little bit, and I didn't pay Witts the respect he probably deserved because he has been by far one of the great ruckmen this year, behind Max Gawn. He's a superstar, and I love what he's been doing this year. So yeah, playing great footy, and I've got no intentions whatsoever on getting rid of him. So yeah, we love Witsy, and yeah, slapping it to Rowan too, so it's a little bit more special as well. Braden Pruce, rock solid. Paid donuts for him, and yeah, he's already gone up 165k. Absolutely beautiful. Ambitious, you could call me, but I'm going to try and turn him into Gawn over the buys. Hopefully, Big Dogger Jackson makes his way into the team very soon after he's back from his COVID protocol stuff or whatever it is, and hopefully he can affect Gawn a little bit in the ruck. Go back to that 50-50 split so I can get Gawn in cheaper because he's out of reach now and he's only going to go up in price. So, yeah. Hayes as well. This was a stiff one if you had him on field. I wouldn't blame people for doing that. Number one ruck, but was definitely beaten by Rowan. Did Paddy Ryder play? I didn't watch this game, to be honest. Watched the first quarter and thought, nah, this is shit house. Like, one of the worst games I've ever seen, to be honest. The conditions were horrendous. The goals to points ratio was horrendous. So, yeah, I don't know what's going on with Hayes here, but I can only assume that he got beaten and got sharked by Jack Steele and Seb Ross. So, yeah, it's whatever. He's going to make a lot of money, so don't stress there, people. So, he's going to be a good pick. In the forward line, Dunkley loves playing the Bombers, beats them every time, he dominates. Good to see him star in his 100th game, so yeah, good stuff from Dunks. Isaac Heaney turned it around, wasn't his best game, but yeah, it's a funny thing because Heaney's not, like when he's not really playing his best game, he still scores like over 80 and pushes 100, so gets a couple late ones, so that's really good to see. Will Brodie had his first sort of pretty ordinary score. That's all right, he'll bounce back. Tough conditions, not conditions, but tough game out over there in Geelong. They always play that ground super well. Even though the Dockers got the win, it's hard to score there. Super narrow, and it's hard for an away team to adjust to that. So, yeah, that's all right. Brody he'll bounce back. Zachy Butters, I'll bring this up again. Same justification for Sinclair and Steele. Pretty shitty conditions, butchering it a little bit. It's whatever. He'll bounce back. He's going to be fine. We can give Butters the benefit of doubt over the last few weeks of his having gastro and pretty shit conditions and whatnot. So he will come good. It's just a matter of when. And Cornelio, he's all right. He just bounced back and did what he had to do. I didn't see any of this game, if I'm honest, but all I see is the score, and I think, yeah, you beauty. Is he a keeper? I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. It's really difficult with these four here. Even Martin. So could Martin be a keeper? if I'm honest, like if you want my opinion on the Bombers, I think he's our best player this year. I don't know what's going on with us at the moment. We're just butchering everything. Too many handballs. And Martin, we'd be probably last on the ladder without him, I reckon. He's steady as a ship and he's so composed, and what a pickup he was. So, and in Supercoach as well, look how much coin he's made. It was 102k. Yeah, you can't believe it. If you didn't start with him this year, you're probably going to lose big time. And Dixon and Roses, yeah, they're just pretty viable bench scorers. So what are my trades for this week? I'm going to go really conservative. So I've used 2 trade boosts in a row. That's not ideal, but for what I did to get 2 big Uber midfielders in, I think that was ideal. So I'm going to go really light-hearted this week, and we're going to get rid of Horn Francis, who's just going to keep dropping, I think, in price. So, yeah, he can go, and then we will bring in probably, there's 2 rookies that we can bring in. So there's Carroll. He scored 95, but was that just a fluke? Don't know a whole lot about him. I'll do a bit of research, but someone I do know a little bit about is Greg Clark, and he's going to be an absolute cash cow, and I feel a lot more comfortable having him at M8. So this is what we're going to do. It's literally as simple as that. Horn for Clark, bank 200k, and then go 1 down, 1 up next week and try and get a big dog defender or midfielder. We'll see how we go. I'm not really sure yet, but I think the team's in good nick at the moment. Everything went right except, well, an 85 from a pod and then butchering the captaincy. You can't plan for any of that, really. You back Jackson McRae every single day of the week in against the Bombers, who bleed a lot of points. And it goes to show that history doesn't matter, and sometimes it's quite irrelevant. But, yeah, it's super hit and miss. So, yeah, these will be the captains probably, yeah, most likely. Took for Neil. I'm very comfortable with doing that. And, yeah, hopefully we get McCartan back this week as well. We'll see how we go. O'Driscoll, he's been solid too, just a bit ineffective by his disposal. As I said on Brody, it's hard to have good disposal efficiency at Geelong. It's a small ground and they intercept everything. We saw what Tommy Stewart did, so yeah, they feed off that. But nonetheless, that's the team coming in around 8. As always, let me know what you guys reckon and what adjustments that you would make. Any advice I'm happy to give and take as well. Goes both ways. We all love Supercoach, but yeah, I'll leave it here, guys. Yeah, looking pretty good. I'll try and get a rookie review out this week as well. It's been bloody difficult. I've had a really hectic week last week and I just didn't get around to it. It's always pretty time consuming. I work full time and play footy and already do reviews and stuff as it is. So it's hard to squeeze this sort of stuff in. So I'll get around to it eventually. But yeah, other than that, I'll leave it here, guys. Take it easy. Hope you're going relatively well at this point of the season. And as always, I'll see you guys in the next video.